take a look at some examples. So in order to figure out if something's going to converge or diverge as a geometric series, well, then I need to look at what is its R, meaning what am I multiplying by to get from one term to the next? What's my common ratio? Well, if we look at this first sum, the first term is A1 is 100. The next term, A sub 2, is 10. So let's just look at those first two terms, 100 and 10. How do you get from 100 to 10? Well, notice your number is getting smaller. It's actually getting cut or divided by 10. That is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over 10. So that means that's what's my common ratio. My common ratio is 1 over 10. Well, notice that common ratio of 1 over 10 is between negative 1 and 1. It's on the positive end, but all that matters is it's between negative 1 and 1. Why does that matter? If your R is between negative 1 and 1, it means the sum will converge. And that's all I care about right now is that it converges. Now, the question is, what does it converge to? That's your formula. Well, the formula says that your infinite sum, S with the little infinity symbol, will be to take your first term, your A1, which is 100, and divide it by 1 minus R, where your R in this one we found out was, our common ratio R was 1 over 10. Well, how do you do the 1 over, or on the bottom, the 1 minus 1/10? Well, you need to get a common denominator of 10. Well, you've got the 1/10, that one's fine. The problem is that 1. How do you get a common denominator of 10? Well, to rewrite 1 with a common denominator of 10, you'll just put a 10 on top and a 10 on the bottom. So if you go ahead and subtract the 10 over 10 minus the 1/10, we'll get a 9 over 10. So how do I do this? I've got 100 for this problem right now. I've got 100 divided by 9 over 10. Well, remember that dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So I've got 100, that part will stay the same, but instead of dividing by 9 over 10, I'll change it into multiplying by, we've got to flip that upside down, multiplying by the reciprocal of 9 over 10, which is 10 over 9. Well, how do you multiply these together? Well, remember the 100 is 100 over 1. So you're going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. Well, straight across the top, 100 times 10 will give you 1,000. And straight across the bottom, 1 times 9 is 9. And that's your value that your sum is going to converge to. It converges to 1,000 over 9. And that doesn't reduce. So you're just all set. Your sum converges and it converges to 1,000 over 9. As long as your fraction is reduced, just leave it just like that.